5 minutes for Q&A.
Can you give an example of how you would strengthen the connection between e-board members and interns?
So I have several ideas for that. One of them being having at least one e-board member at each internship meeting to focus on what they do during their job, either as like president or director of media, and give them a glimpse as to what their responsibilities are throughout the year, as well as even just their academic life and personal life to have the interns know the e-board members better. I also would like to facilitate a buddy system, not only within the interns, but between the interns and e-board, just so that to facilitate a stronger connection between the two.
Okay, so what would your meetings look like? I guess a week by week.
Week by week. So
Yeah.
I like to have goals in mind for each meeting, and whether that's just focusing on either PACN related events or cultural related events, but one of my goals for next year is to make sure that they understand their background, and one of the projects I have in mind for them is to explore their own family identity and have them share with the other interns what their background is like, and so that they can learn from each other as well. Because I found that many people don't really know where they come from, or even where other people come from, so I think that would be one aspect of my meetings. I also, in addition to having an e-board member present kind of their life, their academic life, and their personal life, that would be another aspect in my meetings. And I also want to open up discussion for how they're doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, so that I can keep up to terms with them and provide my own insight and my own experiences so that they can adapt their style better. Jerica, and then.
So as IVP, you're going to have to maintain a lot of relations with a lot of different groups. So that's going to be people of your board, the interns, and external organizations. Can you talk about your communication style and how you can adapt to those different groups?
I find that most people would think I'm very open. I'm a very transparent person, and I know that they can depend on me for anything. I'm very trustworthy, and I'm very accessible through social media. My phone number, if you want it, you can have it. Basic messenger, I guess. Honestly, I'm an open book. If you want to get to know me, I'm happy. That's why I have my office hours. I'll have more office hours if people want to know me better, but really, I love getting to know other people, and it's one of my passions just to understand where a person comes from and what their struggles are, because a lot of the times we have the same struggles as well, and it's really awesome to know that other people are kind of in the same boat as you, so that you can strengthen each other and go from there. Oh, Matt.
So in the past, the IVP has dealt with like problems within like e-board if they have like infighting. How would you deal with an e-boarder like attacking or insulting an e-boarder?
Like between like attacking me or just
like
two people?
Like two people. That's
Okay, two people. So the way I approach conflict is I tend to take a step back and make sure that my viewpoint isn't biased in any way, because I don't think that helps the situation at all. And if I find that I can judge the situation correctly, then I will talk to each person one-on-one and see where they're at, because maybe they were having a rough day. Academically, we're all very stressed out, and a lot of times we tend to lash out without really knowing the situation fully. And so once I get a better idea of where each person is coming from, then I will facilitate a meeting between the two and really try and get to the bottom of what the situation is, so that we can move forward and improve upon the situation.
So let's say hypothetically, like a board member was having a hard time, like you were mentioning, and they felt like unmotivated or disconnected from their board and the organization. How would you as IVP kind of approach them and like talk to them about the situation to like remotivate them and stuff?
So I face the same problems in science outreach, because science outreach is a very demanding organization. And the way I approach that problem is I'm very one-on-one, and I know that my session members can trust me to know that their situation will be personal, and I won't release any of the information out. So I'm very personal in that sense, but I'm very strict in that if you can't commit to your responsibilities fully, then I will try and find a way for you to do so or find a different solution.
From like an outside perspective as an e-boarder, how would you improve upon the internship program?
I think I want to have the interns more involved in the general meetings, and the way that I would like to see that is I want them to have more of a say in like the events that are going on. Let's say if an intern helps the social chair with an event, I want them to be the one to explain it so that even the general members can see that interns are making an impact, because a lot of it is behind the scenes. They don't realize how much of work the interns do on a weekly basis. So I would have them be more active in the general meetings.
We have time for one more question.
Yes, Rachel.
So another part of the IDB position is maintaining the community values and ensuring that Troy Phi is like this warm, welcoming community that it is. And so sometimes you have to be the person that calls out the e-board or calls out the member for infringing on those values. So my question is, I think, how do you see yourself doing that? And what do you identify as those values? And what do we do to facilitate and continue to facilitate that?
That's a really good question, because I think Troy Philippines is the epitome of a welcoming environment, and it's important to keep it that way. A lot of our members find that that's the reason why they keep coming back. And I know that I am more of a quiet individual, and I see that as one of my weaknesses, but I find that it's very important in order for me to analyze the situation fully. And rest assured, you can depend on me to uphold our values strongly, and I will stand up for what we all believe in, and that involves an open space, being respectful of other people's identities, ideas, and values. And the way I will do that is by making sure that we respect each other in general meetings. We don't try and call each other out regardless of the situation, and just making sure that everyone is okay and having that one-on-one personal connection with them, I think, is key.
Thank you.